Hi, everyone. I'm Portia King, and I'm about to sit down with the producers and cast of Disney's new show, Saturdays. So stick around. You're watching The Chicago Defender. Hi, Marcia Norman. How are
Hey,
you? I'm Portia
good.
King from The Chicago Defender.
All right.
Hello, how are
All
you?
right. So one thing that drew me to this storyline is that it takes place in Chicago. So I wanted to know what was the motivation or push to have the film based here.
Well, Chicago, we know, has just a great skate culture. The movie I did a movie Roll Bounce years ago. We shot it in Chicago. It only made sense to come back to Chicago, knowing that skate culture exists there. I couldn't even imagine shooting it anywhere else because, just the body of skaters out of Chicago and the different rinks that are kind of like legendary there that kind of even people know in LA, we know we go to Markham or they know they go to the rink. For that to transcend the coast, we were like, okay, yeah, Chicago's the place.
Hey, so it's so interesting seeing the two of you all together in one space right now. And I could tell you all were having fun because, like, watching it from like thinking of, well, when I was a kid and I was Disney's target audience, I remember I always loved the parents. But I can only imagine you all probably would have been my favorite TV parents. And
Easy.
I don't know about
Stop,
it.
girl, stop.
Mine
Yes.
too. It would've been mine.
So were you all improvising at all? Because there were so many moments that I could appreciate
So
as an
fun.
adult
That's a
watching.
great question.
That is a great question.
Yeah, when we started it, we're like, do I have to stick to the script? We had a scripty that was very, very particular about the words,
Oh,
make sure
yeah.
you said the right thing and this and the third, but then they would always turn us loose for one take and let us do
Oh,
our
yes.
thing. So we were curious to see what they kept in the final edit, and let me tell you something. They kept a lot. Let's
They
put it that
did.
way.
They did. We did improv a lot. I mean, you can't do comedy and not just innately want to put your little spin on it.
Right.
It wasn't, I mean, not that I had to because the writing is so good. It's so good that it feels like we were just sort of,
Right.
doing, improv. But but yeah, I mean, I think it's always fun to be able to put your little 2 cents on at the end.
That is a testament to the good writing.
It is.
That's true. They're like, oh no, you guys improv. Like, no,
No, that's it.
yeah, 90% of it was writing, but
Yeah.
we got our 10% in.
Yes, got our little 10%.
No, we got our 10%.
We did.
Yes. And so this sort of felt really full circle for me. So I grew up in Chatham and I remember coming home from day camp and Roll Bounce was being filmed right around the corner from my house. So I remember me and my girl crew, we got together and we were trying to sneak on site to get a glimpse of Bow Wow.
Right.
So this whole concept and watching watching the screeners, it just felt like a storyline that felt familiar. So I just want to know from the two of you, what was it like building up this cast and finding the three young ladies to be portrayed on Saturdays?
I would say it was quite the process, but looking back, it was a really fun one. We were able to meet so many young girls. Well, if we're solely talking about the girls right now, but we were able to meet so many amazing talents. And I knew when Danielle came onto the screen, her confidence was just so amazing, and she was so energetic, incredibly sweet, and it kind of reminded me of me in a sense of when I first started. It was a whole bunch of, I used to just improvise. I used to just say what was on my mind, flip the script a little bit to make it your own. And she really made Paris her own. And like anytime, like we did callbacks a lot for a bunch of them. And she would really make it her own, but yet still have it true to herself.
What was it like working with someone so young and even peer-like, Marisa Martin? What was it like working with her or helping create and bring this vision to life?
So being with Marseille and like working with her was very inspiring. I watched Blackish growing up. I looked up to her growing up, especially being that, she had pretty dark skin like me and she had hair similar to me, and just I saw myself in her. And so growing up watching her, I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. So being able to work with her is like a full circle moment for me. And it is so cool watching someone do all the things that she's doing at such a young age, especially since we are pretty close in age. It's inspiring, and I'm so proud and grateful to be a part of a project she's on.
I love this. like I said earlier with another interview, my daughter's 13. So Disney was our, that was our place. That's where we went to find the funny, the representation. And so I think it's really important that, just the community in itself is being represented in a way that it's celebrating not just this beautiful family, but the skate culture, the Chicago culture, the intentional storytelling of this amazing African-American family.
Right.
And so I think it's really important that, just the community in itself is being represented in a way that it's celebrating not just this beautiful family, but the skate culture, the Chicago culture, the intentional storytelling of this amazing African-American family,
right.
Of all beautiful, shades. And I just think that young kids need that. They need representation to feel connected.
Young Black girls who are watching Disney Channel are going to be so inspired by our show and by each of our characters. There's different little girls out there, and one of them could relate to Simone, one of them could relate to Ari and Paris. And I think that's just so amazing that, like Danielle said, that this representation is out in the world and our voices are going to be heard. And, people can look on the TV and say, hey, she looks like me. I have that shirt. I got that same hairstyle. Wait a minute, that could be me. So I think that's pretty dope.
There's not enough shows where we see young Black kids, and I would say girls, enjoying themselves, having fun, being friends, having basic problems, having somebody to lean on, something that they're laughing at. We don't see enough joy in our young Black teens, so we felt like that's definitely what we wanted to do.
I think everyone should tune into Saturdays because it's fun, it's light, it's happy, it's super hilarious. And I feel like everyone is going to relate to a character in some way, relate to some of the stuff that might happen in some ways. And I just feel like it's a cool, groundbreaking show. Just like Peyton said, I don't think there's a reason why someone shouldn't watch it. Just like Daria said, it's for every age group. This show is amazing. And I definitely feel like people are going to want to sit down and watch it every Friday, because Fridays are the new Saturdays, to watch the show. So I'm very excited.